Hey guys, it's your girl Nashville. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. I know I've got on the headphones, but I can hear ya, which means, I can't hear you. I can hear myself. So I got on the headphones because I want to review Kamala Harris's speech with you today, and I want to hear it, listen to it, and I talk to you all at the same time. So I'm going to do it all together. Her speech killed. And her mannerisms remind me so much of a great boss that I had. And I even emailed her and was like, oh my God, the speech just oozes you. Oozes your whole aura. She is captivating, warm, strong, and she is so fiery about this cause right here. So I want you guys to watch it with me. I also want to take this time very quickly before we go in to say that I got all of you guys' good wishes. Thank you so much for any of the people who were so kind enough to put your thoughts and comments and send your love after my friend passed away. For all of you all who sent your love, your best wishes, your well wishes, your condolences, that was so sweet to me, and I am so thankful for it from the bottom of my heart. You know what? I've been it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle, but at the same time, I've been slowly picking my energy back up and, getting back on my routine, working, eating well, exercising, making plans, trying to live my life because I know that's what my friend would want me to do. So you guys are doing it right alongside with me, and I am so happy that you're here with me on this journey. Thank you guys again. So, let's take a look at this. You guys know that two lawmakers, Justin Pearson and Justin Jones, got suspended from the Tennessee House, from the Tennessee Assembly, General Assembly, and they actually have both been reinstated, but they were so weirdly, expelled from the General Assembly because they held a peaceful protest with a bunch of students and kids talking about how gun safety needs to be taken seriously in the United States, and especially in the state of Tennessee. And 11,000 deaths already from gun violence this year. I saw that statistic, 11,000 deaths already in the United States from gun violence this year. We know many of them, sadly, unfortunately, have been children, like these gun drills have become the new norm in schools, and kids want to know, am I next? Am I going to be next? And the U.S. has to do something about it. It has to do something about it. And Kamala Harris sums this up so beautifully, and she sums up this call of action so beautifully. None of us have to all have the answers right now about how this gun reform happens. Whether you're Republican, whether you're Democrat, is really irrelevant. What is relevant here is working together to make sure that policies are in place to make sure that children in the United States are protected. And she, oh my God, she exemplifies all of that idea. She verbalizes it so beautifully, and I want you guys to watch this with me. So let's go in.
As the students, as the young leaders here know, the legacy of this extraordinary place of education in America
on my tablet,
has produced leaders who have gone on to be not only national leaders but global leaders. And I'm reminded in particular this afternoon of two of those leaders, the late, great John Lewis, and
what really got me is how on fire this crowd is. You can tell that when emotions are heavy and high and something is on the table that people really care about, the reaction and the interaction between speaker and crowd and politician and citizens and leader and contributors, you can literally just see the spirit of that love come alive. And they were on fire. They were just clapping the whole time, standing up. I just thought it was absolutely insane.
Over the last couple of weeks, we have seen over 7,000 students and young leaders go to the Capitol to talk about what John Lewis and Diane Nash talked about the importance of freedom, the importance of liberty, the importance of respecting the right of all people to live where they receive dignity, where they live in a place that they can be free from harm. And so we are here, understanding the broad shoulders upon which we all stand. Those fighters for freedom and liberty and justice. Those fighters who understood the truth must never be stifled or silenced when it is on behalf of the people. And so I want to start by recognizing the Tennessee Three. We are here because they and their colleagues, the Democratic caucus of the state legislature, and I'd ask you to stand as well, please.
A lot of silencing happening these days.
Because they chose to show courage in the face of an extreme.
Because that's exactly what they tried to do to the Tennessee Three, is silence them. You know, anybody who talks about the travesty of the gun reform situation in the United States, anyone who talks about the situation of race relations and tolerance, the situation dealing with, you know, children under 18 wanting to transition, the controversy around, you know, abortion, anytime you hit on one of these topics, somebody who says, hey, people should have their inherent basic rights to freedom, they try to get silenced. People try to silence them.
They understood the importance, these three, of standing to say that people will not be silenced, to say that a democracy hears the cries, hears the pleas, who hears the demands of its people, who say the children should be able to live and be safe and go to school and not be in fear. They said, we understand when we took an oath to represent the people who elected us, that we speak on behalf of them. It wasn't about the three of these leaders. It was about who they were representing. It's about whose voices they were channeling. Understand that. And is that not what a democracy allows? A democracy says you don't silence the people. You do not stifle the people. You don't turn off their microphones when they are speaking about the importance of life and liberty. That is not what a democracy does. Understand. So they turned off the microphones. They tried to tell them to sit down and be quiet. But they understood that the voices must be heard. So think about this. In order to make sure the voices were represented in that place where elected leaders are supposed to lead in a democracy, these leaders had to get a bullhorn.
I'm not going to watch this whole thing with you. We'll go probably about another 5 minutes, and then I'll give my final thoughts. I highly recommend for you to watch this on your own. And those of you out there who are truth speakers, who are speaking up, speaking out against sexism, racism, gun violence, violence in general, if you're speaking up for climate change, if you are a humanitarian in your own right, in your own regard, and people try to knock you down because of that, do not allow yourself to be silenced. And the U.S., my country of birth, even though I live in France, like I said, I will always have a love for the United States. And somehow we have seemed to forget that a little bit. We've lost that fact that, those people sitting in those seats, those representative seats in the House, in the Congress, in the Senate, in our local city government offices, they're not there because of lobbyists. They're not there because of rich backers and rich donors. They're supposed to be there to advocate and represent what the people want, okay? And so that's the way that policy works.
They had to get a bullhorn to be heard. Well, you know what? That happens in a democracy too. In a democracy too. If the students demand, if the moms demand, if the people's demand is not being heard by those who should listen and care and contemplate and reflect and think about, maybe I should give this a moment to listen. Give it a fair chance to be heard. If I feel like I'm so right, shouldn't I have the courage to debate it? Make your case. Make your case. You don't turn off the microphones. And then they do that.
The ones in the background like, whoa! Like, don't shoot your guns off in here now. Whoa!
Challenging notions of
So
who
American.
should say what and when and where. Let's expel them. Can you imagine? Let's get rid of them entirely. Let's remove them not only for that moment, but remove these people who have been elected to represent the people. And let us decide who should represent the people. What is that? That is not a democracy. That is not a democracy. You can't walk around.
Okay, guys, we're going to stop it there. I really love that they had to get a bullhorn to be heard. And if it comes down to that sometimes, that is what we as leaders, and those who refuse to get anything less than what we deserve, humanity, the right to freedom, to liberty, to advocating for those causes that we believe in most, the minute that is refused us, we got to get out those bullhorns, because we cannot allow ourselves to be silenced. And Kamala Harris really, really verbalized that wonderfully. Like I said before, I realized I got to 2023 and I had just come from another contract that I had to leave because of a Karen. And I went to another contract and had a whole nother Karen. And I just started to realize, wow, work and life and stuff became a lot more tedious around like 2015, around like 2016. We know why that is. We are trying our best to just scooch him on out of the way and just sweep that like dust up under a friggin' refrigerator. Just sweep that on part of modern history out of the textbooks. In the future, maybe they will kind of cut us some slack and say, hey, you guys were dealing with a lot, we get it. But, yeah, yeah, white supremacy and sort of this hatred for anyone to want to have their feelings and their thoughts heard just as much as the next person for a certain extremist, sort of unique classified group of peoples within the Western world right now. And it's not just the United States. It's in the UK. It's in France. It's in Spain. It's all over. There are certain marginalized groups who are often very, very much intended to be silenced. It happens from the very, very lower level, mundane, tedious daily happenings of everyday life, all the way up to the policy, legislative, global foreign policy, diplomatics level, governance, society, those big things that we deal with on a bigger global basis. It's there from the most minute, tiny little level all the way up to stuff that impacts the whole world. We can't allow ourselves to be silenced, guys. We cannot. Whether that be on gun reform, whether that be on tolerance and political, upholding tolerance and multiculturalism, and taking the bad wordiness out of political correctness, because the word or the expression politically correct became really, really sus and negative at some point. Let's bring our dignity back. Okay? Let's bring our tolerance back. Let's bring our unity and our solidarity and our partnership back. Regardless of where we came from, regardless of what class we came from, regardless of what skin color we have, regardless of what our religion is, regardless of what our political affiliation is, let's get back to the important stuff. Let's get back to working together so that we can all experience freedom, liberty, democracy, tolerance, peace of mind. This right here. Let's keep this on the planet, okay? Let's not have this be a whoopee cushion for bullet holes. Because some group of extreme people just don't really want to have a conversation. Those people who are in the United States, at least, sitting in the seats of government, as well as all over the Western world, they are not there for lobbyists. They are not there for extremely wealthy donors. They are there for you, the people. So don't ever, ever allow yourselves to be silenced, my beauties. Please let me know what you guys thought of Kamala Harris's amazing speech in the comments. And if you have not already, please go ahead and click the like and subscribe button. Hit the bell so you know whenever I post a video. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay? Bye!